The Houston Museum of Natural Science has assembled a special selection from its collection, highlighting a remarkable group of indigenous peoples. Dirk von Turenhout introduces us to Out of the Amazon, Life on the River.
300 pieces on display, 13 tribes represented. There are many more tribes that live in the Amazon, but we have 13. It's about a 9,000 square foot exhibit, so it's a sizable exhibit. It might take you about an hour and a half to walk through. Amazon region is very large. It's about 2/3 of the United States. So we have tribes that would be, if you put that on the map of the United States, be as far apart as, say, San Diego is from New York. They all live in the rainforest, but it doesn't mean they know each other. But they are all human beings, and so they go through similar, like we do, stages of life. You're born, you grow up, you become an adult, you get married, you have children, you pass away. In between, hopefully not too many times, you get sick, and somebody will cure you. People in the Amazon have shamans who will pray over you, who might blow smoke over you if you're sick. We might smile and say, yeah, but we have pills. Some of those pills, though, are made up of ingredients that ultimately were derived from the knowledge of the shaman that we're sort of smiling at. Because the rainforest is a huge pharmacy. And in some cases, the shaman knows things our doctors don't. So for these various stages of life, people in the Amazon have come up with their own ways of celebrating these events. Specific headdresses are made, specific ornaments are made for your arms or your ankles or your legs based on feathers. So what you're getting is primarily material that is made up from very fragile, extremely colorful feathers. Macaws come to mind, there's some others as well, wading birds for example. And then we have very large full body costumes. In some cases in this display we will show them the actual artifacts standing in front of a large video screen where you see people dancing, wearing these costumes. And so that is basically in a nutshell what you will see. One other thing that's pretty cool too. Very early in the exhibit, you will walk through a house, a dwelling that belongs to a culture that lives on the border between Ecuador and Peru. These are the people known as the Shuar, used to be known as the Jivaro, known for famous or infamous because they used to shrink heads. And they don't anymore. But they were so suspicious of each other that instead of living in a village, each family lived in its own separate individual home, isolated from the rest of the tribe, if you want, top of a hill, in a fortified home. So we have reconstructed as much as we could a fortified home.
In many ways, the cultures of these tribes are as fragile as their artifacts.
Their world is changing very fast and in a very aggressive way. Imagine if somebody came up to you and say, you know what, your division, your subdivision, your suburb, wherever you live, in 2 weeks we're coming through with bulldozers because we're building whatever it may be, a water dam, a reservoir, and you guys are out of here. We don't know where you're gonna go, that's your problem. And in some cases that is happening down there. So their world is turned upside down, and sometimes the culture ultimately is lost. People disperse, go to the city, or are killed. And so in some cases what happens is genetically people are still around, but the culture, and the language, and the religion, and that knowledge of nature helping us cure diseases, equally lost.
For more information about Out of the Amazon, Life on the River, visit the museum's website at www.hmns.org. For Day Trips, I'm Stacy Hawkins.